Hello everyone, this is Sigalas and we're here at Innovation Road at the headquarters from Yamaha, Hamamatsu, Japan. And I'm here with Blake, of course.
Hey.
And we have something really special for you today. And Blake, do you want to say what it is?
You know, basically what it is, at Innovation Road we have all of these great products from the past and from today. And there's a specific display here that I think is really cool. And what it is, it shows all of our reface line of keyboards and synthesizers. So the CS, the DX, the YC, and the CP. But right behind it are the older models, the inspiration for each of the models. So we have, you know, the CS01, the DX7, the YC25D, CP80. Each of these being the inspiration for each model. And so we're going to start here with the CS.
Yeah, so the CS. Let's go straight to the inspiration model, which is something that many people I think don't know. This is the CS01, and that was an analog synthesizer, a monophonic synthesizer, and it was very simple to use. As you can see, it had like speakers,
built-in speaker, yeah,
and also, you know, strap. You know, you could hang a strap so you could play it like this. So this instrument was meant to be very simple to use. It had basic controls, it had a nice sounding filter, but basically the whole concept was that it was easy to use, it was good for newcomers to synthesis that didn't have a lot of technical knowledge. A very simple envelope right there, filter, and of course pitch bend and modulation. So now if we go to the reface CS, we have the same principle of, like, it's very easy to use and it sounds huge. So this is actually an instrument that you can use in productions, you can use it in songs. Actually, all of the refaces are great when you want to use them in a song. They blend very well and they always cut through. So just to show you that, I'm going to show you a sound from the reface CS. And this is with the sawtooth wave. We have quite a few different oscillator types. We have pulse. But let's play a bass sound. But of course, the reface CS is not only monophonic, we can do polyphonic as well. So let's try something like this. Let's open the attack. And we can also add detune wave. Pads. And we can add a delay, for example.
So cool. Yeah.
Obviously, the CS01 didn't have effects on board. This has effects, it has a looper, and you can save all your sounds with Sound Mondo, so you can basically just hook it up to your phone and save all your presets and share them with other people as well. So really, really powerful, and it sounds really big. So I think we can move on to the next model, and this is the reface
DX. And the inspiration for this is the DX7, obviously. 1983 DX7 membrane switches, really cool. But, you know, back then there was sort of a rush to go away from the hands-on control because preset memory was kind of a new thing. And so that was one of the things that drew people in, is being able to recall things instead of having to rebuild, you know, like on an analog machine where you have to rebuild everything and take a picture of your patch. There's your patch memory. So when the DX7 came, that and velocity sensitivity and FM synthesis, really a huge change. And as everyone knows, the DX7, boy, it was the, you know, the sound of the 80s.
Yes.
And it's great. FM has a life that's coming back big time. As we move to the 90s is when it started coming back. Exactly. And now here we are today with this amazing FM synthesizer.
I mean, the DX7 also, it defined, you know, the sound
absolutely.
of a whole decade. And I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be the same without the DX7, because back then it was just analog synths. So people were used to these, you know, analog waveforms. And this was something brand new, and it was like, so you could do sounds that you could never possibly do on an analog synthesizer, like this sound, for example.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you could do percussion, you could do glassy kind of sounds. like harpsichords. Or, you know, like super huge basses. Have all the
bass sound.
Algorithms right here, you know, and some other sounds that it can do that basically, you know, it defined an entire genre of music, like the power ballads. Well, you can't do it without a sound like this. And this time, I'm going to play on the DX. But the difference with the DX is that you can take a sound like this, a conventional sound that everyone knows, and go and add feedback to all of the operators. This has 4 operators, but it's extremely powerful because you can go like this and...
Yeah, that's what I love about it. Instantly, it just takes the sound from sort of this classic DX sound to something much more modern or just different. Just the real-time control is such a different thing about this instrument that even though it definitely takes its influence from the earlier model, the real-time control, the effects process, and of course Sound Mondo, where you can upload sounds and reload them to the... Very cool.
Absolutely. But I mean, the other thing is that, you know, you can have all these things, and it's great because you can actually go into... Let's try another sound. And again, I can go and start changing the level of the operators. Most people were really scared of the DX7 because it was hard to program, right? But right here, I can just go and literally... And all these things you can automate in a DAW. It's super easy. They're all CC messages, so incredible. What else? Let's one more sound, and then we'll move on to the next one, like a bass, like we tried there. So incredibly expressive instrument as well. So let me play this sound for you. So, yeah, and also with the effects. Should we move on to the next one? Yes.
So this one, the YC25D combo organ that we made in 1972. In the synth space, we have the YC45D, and that's from 74, I believe. A little bigger than this one. But this one's really, really, it just, the design of it is what really gets me, the colors and the red. And, you know, this one absolutely plays. So you have the...
It's gorgeous.
Ooh, a little crackly there. An upper and lower manuals.
It's a real... yeah. It's a real thing.
It's from 1972, so it's kind of been around. So very, you know, that's the sound. Now, come over here to the YC, Reface YC. It obviously takes the design, you know, the idea of the red and the colors, really, really cool, engaging design. And this one actually, you know, this had a transistor type sound to it. This has transistor, but different types of transistor organs. So you have, this is the YC model. Plus with a Rode speaker effect. Of course, the drawbars as well. Distortion and reverb. So no reverb on that, no effects, but little nice effects inside here.
It sounds so rich as well.
I love it, yeah. Again, the real-time control is what's here. The A model here. F model, a little bit kind of more of a sawtooth kind of.
It's Italian stuff.
Yes, very much. And then V model. This one kind of has more of kind of a mellower sound. Again, these transistor organs really have an interesting. And then the H model, the classic kind of American tone wheel style. Can maybe take out the reverb here, give it a little bit more distortion. 3 down here. You have vibrato and chorus as well, so if I can bring that in and out. Percussion is really cool in this, I'll come to that in a second. And then the octave switch, I usually play it down kind of low. Maybe not that low, yeah, right here. You know, just really cool. I've heard so many, I've actually checked out a few videos of different bands that use this and are just, it's amazing how fat and huge this sounds. I actually use these two with some singer-songwriters where the table's this big and it's just in a tiny bar, just me and a singer-songwriter guitar player. And I always bring these two because they kind of work with them. And people always comment on this. What was that? That's a Reface YC. Incredible. But they also comment on the other guy that I bring, which is the Reface CP. Now with this one, CP80, I had a CP70 in college. I actually had a DX7 and a CP80. In fact, I think I sold my DX7 to get the CP80, and then I was like, looked back and I sold my DX7. And it was cool to have it. It's so big and heavy. But I mean, this really sort of rewrote the idea of a piano that you can take on tour. Because when you look at this, it's amazing how it's built with real hammers, a cast iron harp, strings. I mean, we make pianos, so they just made an electric version of it. It has a very specific sound to it. Yeah. In fact, and this nails that sound. Obviously, you know we're going to get this one right. And I'll turn off the effects. I got lots of effects going on here. Turn off. You know, and it has, you know, this nice tremolo effect in you. Super expressive too. I get a lot of reverb in here. Cool. The drive really brings in, but I like showing it with like some of these others, like the Reed model here.
Yes.
The tremolo rate too, bring up the depth. Then, you know, RD, these are kind of the more the tine kind of sounds here with phaser. And of course, I love the delay on here. This is part of that real-time control thing. And you notice that these switches, there's a lot of inspiration moving forward because this inspires our new CP88 and 73 line because it has those same type of switches, so the inspiration kind of moves forward. And with this one, and I can even do it better on that instrument, but this is where we started doing these cool sort of delay things where you turn this on, you find something cool like maybe this kind.
It proves the point actually that you can do all these things in like a few seconds.
In a few seconds.
You had many effects before, you say, oh, I have too many effects, and in like 2 seconds you can just stop everything and you can have a clear sound.
Octave switch. I love that you can. Oops. There it is. I mean, that real-time control, just taking it to outer space with something that you wouldn't expect. So really cool. I mean, check it out. This is such a cool display here to show these things in the way that, you know, that they truly, you know, the inspiration to today's stuff. Really cool.
It's amazing.
So that's it. That's a little kind of overview of sort of the inspirational product and the current product. And going forward, you're going to see more of that kind of stuff, just like what we were talking about earlier. So, yeah.
Hope you enjoyed this, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Yeah.